day.
Repping the road, foreign guys with my name on their toes. These studies acknowledge me, honestly, put the seat back in the hottest seat. Little mama wanna suck and just swallow me. Why?
What's good, y'all? It's your boy True and Livin checking in. March 22nd, I want y'all to check out my new shit, man. Long Way From Home. I want y'all dancing off beat like this white girl. You know what I mean? With the headphone wires hanging low. No AirPods, know what I mean? Check my shit out. March 22nd. This is for the real ones, this is for the real G's, know what I mean? Long Way From Home.
Welcome to the check-in report, where the party never ends. Does the party ever really end? Shout out to everybody that's in the clouds right now. Shout out to all my mods. We are gathered here to talk about a fight that's happening July 20th. Mike Tyson, one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, versus YouTube influencer Jake Paul, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about this thing here. It came to a surprise to me. It really did. It came as a surprise to me. And right off the back, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I have to ask the question: does Mike Tyson need the money? Does Mike Tyson need the money, ladies and gentlemen? The man is 57 years old. I don't care how many dudes Mike Tyson knocked out back in 84, 85, 86, 95, 94. Well, he was in prison at that time. But, you know, in the 90s, who he knocked out in the 90s. Mike Tyson, you're 57 years old. Respectfully. And, you know, Mike Tyson is one of my heroes, right? And I want to say he's not my hero in a sense of his, you know, what he's done. You know, he has a very storied past. But in terms of, you know, his ferociousness, in terms of his ferociousness in the ring, his demeanor in the ring, what he did in that ring, the work that he put in that ring and outside the ring, and as far as training, I mean, it's unmatched. One of the greatest heavyweight champions hopping in a ring at 57 against a YouTube influencer. And, you know, I could keep talking about the fact that the man is 57 years old. I could keep talking about that. But why, Mike? And, you know, I also want to go in on a lot of white sports commentators. You know, I've been, you know, surfing the internet. I was watching ESPN today. And on ESPN, you had white commentators excited to see a 57-year-old man hop in a ring with a 27-year-old man and box. If this was any other, you know, white boxer, if this was Rocky Marciano at age 57, if this was Tyson Fury at age 58, give me some more prominent white boxers, whoever, you know. At the old age, the man is almost 60 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not be coy here. Half a century already. He's already half a century old. They want to put this man in a ring? And another thing we have to ask ourselves, what boxing commission is going to sign off on this? What boxing commission is going to sign off on a 57-year-old man squaring up with a 27-year-old man in a square circle? I need to know. You know, I need to know. And all of you, and a lot of you, you know, y'all want to see this fight. You're amused. You may actually want to see Jake Paul get knocked out, right? You actually may want to see Tyson get knocked out. But this is absolutely ridiculous. And people should be ashamed of themselves for even entertaining the notion of this fight. Like, honestly, Mike Tyson is almost sick. He's 3 years away from being 60 years old. Shout out to Sinclair. I see he's in the building. Salute to Sinclair. But the man Mike Tyson, let's actually let's do our Googles. Let's do some Googles tonight. You know, this is a research show. Shout out to Sinclair. She know this is a research show. Let me do my Googles. Because I don't actually know how old Jake Paul is. I know Mike Tyson is almost 60, but how old is Jake Paul? I'm not sure. Let me just look this up real quick. How old is Jake Paul? Old is Jake Paul. How old is this dude? The man is 27 years old, ladies and gentlemen. And make no mistake about Jake Paul. I know he's a YouTube influencer. I know he's a YouTuber. I know all of that. But at the end of the day, he can box. The man is box. He's not an amateur. You know, he has all of the finances to have the best trainers around him. He keeps himself in good physical condition. The man can box. He's even been in the ring with real boxers. People clown him, you know, that he only wants to get in the ring with retired MMA fighters. But he's been in the ring with a few boxers as far as sparring. I think he fought Tyson Fury's younger brother. I think, what is his name? Tommy Fury. He got in the ring with him. He lost that bout. But I mean, Mike Tyson, let me just look up his age real quick, just to make sure. Mike Tyson age. Let me just make sure that this man's 57. I heard he was 57. 57 years old. He's 3 years away from being 60. And there's footage out there. Let me see if I can find this footage. You know, this is a research show. Shout out to everybody. This is a research show. You know, this is where we like to do the research. There's footage out there of Mike Tyson only a year ago using a cane, ladies and gentlemen. Using cane. And we're not talking about that white stuff. We're talking about a walking stick, ladies and gentlemen. Only a year ago. Where is it at? Arriving at a hotel with a walking stick. Here we go. Mike Tyson using a walking stick, using a cane. Hold on, because we got music here, but here you go. He's using a walking stick in this video. Just to get around. I'm sure those joints are not the same. They're not. He's dealing with aches and pains. I mean, the man has had a storied career, you know. But I'm sure, like, you know, those joints and those muscles and those aches and pains are hurting him at age 57. I mean, Mike Tyson is not a young man. I know that people, you know, they have the image. Listen, I understand. And let me actually put the picture up, you know, Mike in his prime. Because listen, Mike in his prime was a bad boy. Make no mistake. Mike, when Mike was the undisputed champion, I mean, come on, bro. When he was the undisputed champion, that was Mike in his prime. When he had all the belts. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they still have this image of Mike in their head. They have this image. Now, this is Mike in his prime. Make no mistake. Mike in his prime with a clean Jake Paul's clock. No question about it. Mike with a clean Jake Paul's clock in 5 seconds in his prime. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not 1985. This is not 1988. This is not 1989. This is not 1997, 1998. This is 2024. Mike Tyson is 3 years away from being 60 years old. He's eligible right now for ARP. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hit the button for that. He's eligible for ARP right now. And y'all hyped to see this. This is what y'all hyped to see. This is what you guys are hyped to see. You're hyped to see a man who's a grandfather, because Mike Tyson is a grandfather. His kids have kids. You're excited to see a grandfather hop in the ring with a 27-year-old trained, because don't get it confused. Jake Paul is trained. He's a trained fighter. He's not an amateur. He's not somebody who hopped in the ring 1 year ago and he know a couple jab moves, a couple stutter steps, and a couple bob and weave moves. He's a trained boxer. He's not an amateur. He's pretty much a professional at this point. I mean, he's had a couple bouts. I'm sure he's sparring with professional athletes and boxers, of his ilk right now. And he's 27 in the prime of his life. Sinclair says, I dislike Jake Paul. Me too. I dislike him as well. I truly do. Shout out to Dr. Strange. I see Dr. Strange is in the building. Salute to Dr. Strange. Dr. Strange says Tyson might get knocked out. Unfortunately, I agree. He may get knocked out. He may get his clock cleaned. But see, the sad part about it, Dr. Strange, people have this image of a prime Mike in their head. They have this image, the image that I got up here with Mike with all the undisputed championships, with all the belts, the ferociousness, Mike knocking people out in the first 2 rounds. They have that image in their brain. This is an elder. This is an older man. This is a grandfather that's 3 years away from being 60. And I was utterly disgusted. I was disgusted, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hit that button. I was disgusted when I turned on the ESPN and I'm listening to white commentators. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it and yada, yada, yada. You can't wait to see a 27-year-old man fight a 57-year-old. They don't do this with white boxers. They don't. And I hate to make it a race thing, but it's true. If it was any of the famous white boxers and they got in the ring at 57, 58, most people would be scared. Most white audiences would be scared to see it. They would be scared to see it. I don't know. He might be deleted in the ring. He might lose his life in the ring. Most white audiences don't want to see that. But when it comes to the black man, they don't mind seeing him, ultimately get deleted in the ring. They want to see Mike Tyson get knocked out, get his, go unconscious, go into a hospital bed, have some type of cardiac arrest in the ring. They don't mind seeing that. They're desensitized to our pain. They're desensitized to our struggles and what happens to us. Because they have this image of Mike being this monster, this ferocious. The man is an elder. The man is an elder. The man is a grandfather. These pictures that's on the screen right now, let me just go through some of these pictures here. Showing y'all some of these pictures of Mike in his prime, where Mike was out here destroying. These pictures were over 30 years ago. Some of these pictures are over 30, 35 years ago. Some of these pictures are older than me. Like, honestly, some of these pictures are older than me. Y'all excited to see this? This is what y'all excited for? All of the boxers out here, you got the Keith Thurman fight coming up. You got the Ryan Garcia fight coming up. You got all these different bouts coming up, I heard Anthony Joshua's about to get back into the ring as well. Y'all excited to see Jake Paul fight a 60-year-old man. That's at the top of boxing. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. Like, listen, when Mike got into the ring a couple years ago, right? Let me see if I could pull that up. Mike got into the ring a couple years ago. He got into the ring with Roy Jones, right? Let me just pull that up. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, because he got into the ring with Roy Jones, and it's my opinion that fight was, let's just say it was choreographed, right? I don't think that Mike wanted to knock out Roy. I don't think Roy wanted to knock out Tyson, because I think that they came to an understanding. This is the fight. This happened about a year ago. Dr. Strain, do you remember that fight that Roy Jones and Tyson had about a year ago? Maybe not a year, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, it was a glorified exhibition, but I believe it was choreographed. I believe it was choreographed. I think in Tyson's heart of heart, he had no intention on, cleaning Roy Jones' clock, and I think Roy Jones had no intention on cleaning Tyson's clock. Right? Because these are two gladiators. They've had their time in the sun. They understand the seriousness of boxing. They understand that it's a blood sport. They understand that, that they're both elder men of a certain age. They have kids. They have, lives to live. They have, a lot to live for at their elder stages, right? So these are two gladiators that had respect for one another, that understood, we're not trying to clean each other's clock here. But the fact that Mike Tyson is now you're hopping in a ring with Jake Paul, who's, let's be honest, man, this whole generation, because I think Jake Paul's a generation Z or whatever. What do they call the generation after millennials? What is it? Generation Z? I don't know what they call them. I don't know whatever you call these kids. But what I'm trying to get at is he's from a generation of clout, right? And I'm not saying he doesn't have respect for the sport. I'm not saying he doesn't have respect for boxing, right? Because clearly he puts the work in. But he comes from a generation of clout. Everything is clickbait. Everything. He even has a video. I should go to it right now. Let me go to that. Let me pull that up actually too while I'm speaking about this. But let me just go to Instagram. But what I'm trying to get at is everything Jake Paul does and everything that his generation represents is doing it for the clout, right? So being that he's doing everything for the clout, you can't see him getting into a ring with Mike Tyson and trying to clean Mike Tyson's clock just for the clout. Just for the clout. I knocked out Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was the biggest, strongest heavyweight. Keep in mind, it was 30 years ago. It was 35 years ago when Mike Tyson was in his prime. But you don't think that he wants some type of clout off of knocking Mike Tyson out, even at 60 years old? This dude is a coward. Anybody with any type of respect for the elders, respect for, the fighters of old, would say, you know what, Mike Tyson is 57 years old. He has grandbabies. I don't want to get into a ring with Mike Tyson and hurt him. I truly believe Jake Paul is willing to get into that ring and clean Mike Tyson's clock, right? Because Mike Tyson is a gladiator, right? So his mind is always gonna be in the realm of gladiator sport. Listen, Mike Tyson is a fighter. He's been fighting his whole life, right? Before he even got into the ring, he's been fighting his whole life. But Jake Paul is just someone who just picked up a pair of gloves, got into the sport. But ultimately he comes from a world of clout, doing things that are based off of views, clicks, right? You don't think that this coward wants to get into a ring with Mike Tyson and clean his clock, try to knock him out unconscious, ultimately hurt him? That's what ultimately could happen here. That's what ultimately could happen in that squared circle, ladies and gentlemen. And you got all these white commentators, and again, I hate to make it a race thing. They over here laughing about it, and I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to see it. Oh, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, I'm embarrassed to say I want to see it, but I want to see it. The man is an elder. And just to show you what I'm talking about in terms of, everything with Jake Paul, it's all clout. It's all clout. Let me go to his page. Give me a second here. You see, I got the shade room. I got the shade room already queued up. Shout out to the shade room. It's the first thing up here. But he put this out today, just to show you how cloutish this guy is. He got all the things up. He got all this. Oh, let me take this off. My fault. He got all these different photos up. He's promoting the fight. But I saw he had a video where he's sitting down getting a tattoo of getting like a Mike Tyson tattoo on his face. Where is that at? Let me see. Is it here? I seen it. And if something happens to Mike, Netflix, you're going to be responsible too. This is the promo for the fight right here. I don't know if y'all checking that out. This is the promo for the fight. The promo. It's going to be on Netflix. If something happens to Mike, Netflix, you're going to be held responsible. I still want to know what boxing commission is sanctioning this. That a 57-year-old man hops into the square circle with this guy. Jake Paul gets Mike Tyson tattoo. Yeah, he's doing everything for the clout. I just want to show y'all. Let me see. Well, I don't know why I can't find it. I literally just seen it. Here you go. Jake Paul gets Mike Tyson face tattoo. I literally just seen it. Here you go. He's doing everything for the clout for this fight. He's doing it for the clout. Everything is off of clout. It's not for the love of the sport. It's not for the love of, if he truly had love for the sport, let me ask y'all this question. If he truly loved the boxing sport, if he truly took it serious, if he truly wanted to do this, if he truly had it in his heart to be a fighter, why isn't Jake Paul climbing up the ranks? Fighting, the boxers in his weight class and trying to come up that rank to ultimately be champion. Why are you fighting retired MMA guys? Nate Diaz, Tyrone Woodley. Who did he knock out? He knocked out the NBA player, Nate Robinson. Oh my goodness. Why are you fighting these people? Why aren't you climbing up the ranks and fighting legitimate boxers? Why aren't you fighting legitimate boxers? Because if he truly had love for the sport, he would take his influence, he would take, all the viewers he has on him, climb up the ranks, showcase other boxers that are also trying to climb up the ranks, fight them. If you're truly good, you'll win. You'll climb up the ranks. Maybe ultimately you'll get a title. Maybe ultimately you'll get a title shot. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to hop in the ring with the 60-year-old Mike Tyson, retired MMA fighters. professional basketball players. This dude has no love for the sport. He's really a culture vulture. In all honesty, he's truly a culture vulture. If you want to just be legitimate, just call it for what it is. He's really a culture vulture. But it's just truly sad, what's happening here, And like I said, everything is based off of the clout. It's based off of clout. It's not based off of love for the sport, So me personally, in my opinion, I will not be paying for this fight. I don't want to see it. I hope that Mike Tyson does not get knocked out. I hope that Mike Tyson, comes away from this fight. And I'm not hoping for, because most people would want to hear, oh, Jake Paul gets knocked out. I'm not hoping Jake Paul gets knocked out either. But I mean, honestly, like, my heart goes more towards a Mike Tyson who's almost 60 years old and an elder with grandbabies. My heart more so goes out to him. Like, does Mike need the money? Let me actually look up Mike's net worth. Let me see how much Mike is. Because you don't know. Maybe Mike needs the money. Maybe Mike, things ain't working out with Mike. I know he has a marijuana business. He has the podcast. Maybe things is getting a little tight with Mike. I don't know. Maybe he needs the money. Maybe he need. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Mike. I know that Mike lost over, from what I heard, over $300 million just off of this bad money management. Don King had his money in the pot. Let me look at that net worth though. Look at that net worth of Mike Tyson. I mean, I don't know what his pockets is looking like right now. They say Tyson earned hundreds of millions of dollars from purses, from endorsements during his. I mean, we know that he earned a lot of money during his career, but started over in 2003. He has been able to generate considerable net worth despite his misfortunes. Tyson's net worth in 2024 sits around $10 million. So from what I'm seeing here, Mike Tyson has the money. Maybe he just, has a passion for the sport. Maybe he never stopped boxing. Maybe he feels like he can still compete at his older age. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's money. I don't know if it's just him having a passion for it, but I don't want to see Mike get his clock clean. I don't want to see Mike, get deleted in that ring. I truly don't. I look up to Mike. I respect Mike. A lot of us do, and I don't want to see Mike go out like that. And I think that this whole fight, in my opinion, is beneath Mike. This is beneath Mike. Mike, you was in the ring with great fighters like Larry Holmes and Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. Why are you fighting an influencer, bro? You didn't put your work in. You put your time in. You're 60 years old. You're an elder. You don't have to sit in there and get in this ring with this coward, with this fool. He's not even a respectable opponent. He fights retired MMA fighters, not retired boxers, not retired boxers, right? You don't see him calling out Sugar Shane Mosley or Manny Pacquiao. You don't see him calling them out. But he wants to call out, because Manny Pacquiao, Sugar Shane Mosley, they're not too removed from the sport. They've only been out the sport for 3-4 years. It ain't been that long since they had a fight. Sugar Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao, they haven't been that far removed from fighting. So getting into a ring with them, it could be detrimental. Mike Tyson, he took at least a decade off. More than a decade. Mike Tyson hasn't had a professional outside of the Roy Jones fight. I mean, when was Mike Tyson's last fight? Let me look that up. Before the Roy Jones fight. because but I mean, I don't look at that as a fight. That was an exhibition, and it was more choreographed. So hold on, Mike Tyson last fight. It wasn't Roy Jones. Hold on, let me go to Wikipedia. Last professional fight. Let me put that in. Last professional fight. There we go. Okay. It was in 2005. A loss to Kevin McBride. He hasn't fought professionally since 2005, and I'm not giving Mike credit for that Roy Jones fight. That was a choreographed fight, so I'm not buying it that was a real fight. That was a choreographed fight. You could tell that they didn't want to clean each other's clock. They wasn't trying to go for each other's head. It was just a glorified sparring match. That's what it was. You know, but Mike, I'm not hoping that Mike get. I don't want Mike to get hurt, and I don't want Mike to get knocked out. Mike is almost 60 years old, but boxing is a dangerous sport, and these things can happen. You know, these things can happen. Dr. Stray says this exhibition thing was supposed to be a whole roster of people at one point. I don't know if he's still doing the whole thing still. Yeah, I think that Mike, after that Roy Jones fight, I think that because he said he wanted to do it again, because I seen the Roy Jones Tyson thing, and he said it at the end of the bout. He said he wanted to do it again. So I'm guessing he would. I mean, I'm sure he probably reached out to like Evander or somebody like that wanting to do this again. I don't know. And Evander was like, "Nah, I don't want to get back in the ring." You also say when Mike started doing the exhibition fights years ago, he said him and his team had a 10-year deal / plan. He's a few years and fights in now. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Sinclair says, why not fight Tanya Harding? Time ago, Tanya Harding. I remember something like that when she was in a. I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all remember when Sticky Fingers from Onyx? He was another one. He got knocked out doing a celebrity boxing match. He fought some white man. I forgot the name of the dude. But ultimately, I don't want to see Mike get knocked out. I don't want to see Mike get hurt. Mike is a legend. Make no mistake, Mike is a legend. And this whole exhibition thing, it's beneath him. It's really beneath him. Mike has nothing to prove to nobody, especially to a YouTube influencer. He has nothing to prove to this dude. The dude, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Jake Paul, he's really a coward. I'm gonna be honest with you, he's a coward because, like, why every time you get a boxing match, it's always some type of like weird opponent. The opponents. The only time I can say okay that makes sense is when you fought Tommy Fury. He fought Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury's brother. That was the only time where I was like, okay, because you've been boxing a few years, you want to fight a professional fighter. I respect that, right? So I respect it when he fought Tommy Fury. But outside of Tommy Fury, you've been fighting professional basketball players. You fought retired UFC fighters. And let's get into the UFC thing. What UFC does and what boxers do are very different, right? In UFC, they're trained to do holds, submission, jiu-jitsu. It's more diverse. The fighting is more diverse. Boxing is you standing on two feet, squaring up, bobbing, weaving, using your fist to hit the other opponent. For UFC, you're using every element of your body. You're using your legs. You're using your elbows. You're using, you're kicking people in the calves. spinning elbows and stuff like that, submission, arm holds. So it's a wider arsenal. So you can't compare what UFC fighters train for opposed to what boxers train for. So if you're gonna fight a retired a retired UFC fighter, they haven't been trained to be boxers. They have been trained to be UFC fighters. So any UFC fighter that retired was not going to be prepared to take that match regardless. And this is, I mean, and then you got the whole Nate Robinson when he fought Nate Robinson. You know, the infamous clip when he got knocked out. It's just shameful. It's really shameful, and it's just. Let me actually pull up his exhibition. You know, the people that he fought. Oh, let me pull that up right quick. All the people that Jake Paul fought. I mean, he doesn't have a respectable list outside of Tommy Fury. That's the only fight that I could really give him respect for, the fight he had with Tommy Fury, but he lost that fight. So the first time that you fought a professional boxer, you lost that fight. The first time they put you in a ring with somebody that actually boxes, you lost the fight. Hold on. Let's go to his let's go here. I just want to take a look at all the people he boxed. Or rather had an exhibition with. And a lot of people have said that possibly, you know, like the Tyron Woodley, a lot of people have said that fight was staged. A lot of people have said that fight was staged. Where's his record at? I don't see his record on here. There we go. Let's see. Ryan Borland, Andrew August, Nate Diaz, Tommy Fury, Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, Nate Robinson. Like, look at these people. None of these people, like, outside of Tommy Fury. I just gave him credit for Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is a legitimate boxer. I'll give him credit for that. Even though he lost, I'll give him credit for it. But Nate Diaz, UFC, Anderson Silva it got to be, what is he, like 40? 48? How old is Anderson Silva? Anderson Silva is 48 years old, ladies and gentlemen. 48. Tyron Woodley, another UFC fighter. Ben Askren, isn't that a UFC fighter as well? He's a UFC fighter. Yeah, mixed martial, he's an MMA fighter. Yeah, man. So, I mean, come on, bro. Why is Mike Tyson fighting this guy? It's ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. Shameful. Shameful if you ask me. It really is. It's a shame. It's not even worth it. Why? Like, Mike Tyson, don't waste your time fighting this guy. I mean, I still want to know what boxing commission is going to sanction this. Are they really going to sanction these two individuals getting into a square circle and fighting? And like I said, you know, Netflix, you're going to be responsible. You're going to be held responsible for any of the backlash, any of the unforeseen things that you think that couldn't happen, that possibly could happen. We're not hoping for that, you know, God forbid. You know, I hope that Mike gets out of this, you know, healthy and, you know, nothing's wrong or nothing happens. But we have to deal with the reality that the man is 60 years old. He's almost 60, you know? So, you know, those are just my thoughts. I just want to talk about this whole topic. You know, I'm just utterly kind of just disgusted with the whole notion of Tyson fighting this guy. I don't see the point. You know, Tyson should just be chilling somewhere, enjoying the perks of his former career, and, you know, chilling with his family and, you know, doing good business deals. You know, you don't have to, you know, Mike Tyson is a legend. He doesn't have to come out here and fight, you know, some influencer. For what? For what? Like, for what cause? What does it profit Tyson? You know? But those are just my thoughts. Salute to Dr. Strange. Salute to Sinclair for checking in today. Riding out. You know, just wanted to come out here and talk about this story and, you know, what was laying heavy on my heart, ladies and gentlemen, you know. But let me know how y'all feel about this whole story. You know, let me know how y'all are feeling about this whole thing. Do you want to see this fight? Are you rooting for Tyson or Jake Paul in this fight? Do you want to see one of these men get knocked out? You know? Do you want to be entertained by the monkey show? Do you want to see one of these men ultimately get their clocks clean, you know? What does it profit you? Do you want to see this? We need to know. What type of individual are you? You know, do you want to see one of these individuals get knocked out? Let us know in the comment section. Let us know in the chat room. But ultimately, guys, I want to wish you guys a good night. I will see you guys on another stream, on another time. I hope you guys have been entertained as well as enlightened. This is the Check-In Report. Coming in live and direct. Let me hit this button real quick. Again, yeah, we out of here, though. Y'all have a good night, man. We out. Toodles. Repping the road, foreign